What's cracking? It's your boy Broshmo, just in case you did not know. So we're back again. Once again, this time we're doing the mock Mel Kiper Jr. He's got a new mock out, so we're going to go ahead and take a look at that. I'll give you my opinions on it. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. Indulge in that nice, beautiful football discourse. Go ahead, become a bro, and subscribe. Leave that thumbs up if you enjoyed the content. Always much appreciated. Always much obliged. We're going to go ahead. We're going to switch over. You're going to notice code Broshmo right up here. That's basically for Walk the Mock. It's a live draft simulator. Basically, it allows you to do a mock draft, but with real people in real time. We do these on our live streams. So if you want to come mock against me and some of the other guys on the channel, then go ahead, become a premium member at Walk the Mock. Follow the link in the description. Use code Broshmo to get 20% off. That's uppercase, all caps, Broshmo. Who would have thought? Trevor Lawrence to the Jaguars at number one. I mean, you could kind of chalk it in at this point. People that have maybe Zach Wilson with this pick, I think are just being kind of maybe creative, I guess. But yeah, no, it's Trevor Lawrence. No mock in here. And then we're going to go with Jets going with Zach Wilson. And this one, even Mel, he's kind of 50-50 on them keeping Sam. And I'm starting to think that they're going to keep Sam Darnold too, because the market on him has really just shrunk. I don't know how they're I don't know what's their plan to move him. Maybe they're just going to keep him. And then at this point, what do you do with this pick? It would be ideal to trade down, but is someone really just trying to trade? Someone really going to give away all that draft capital to trade up? It's going to be tough. They could go Sewell here if they don't go Wilson. But yeah, no, this totally would be my pick. I'd be moving on from Sam Darnold's contract, more in particular. And then we have a trade. Basically, Dolphins, they're going to switch with the Panthers. We could assume the Panthers are trading up for a quarterback, and they do. They go with Justin Fields. Big surprise. I kind of agree with this. If they can't, with everything going on with Deshaun Watson, it's just that whole thing's super murky, not monkeyed. Someone tried to say I said monkeyed instead of murky in the comments, so I'm just gonna be sure of it this time. Haha. It's kind of murky, so it's like I don't know if there's. I mean, it sounds like there is still some legitimate interest in trying to trade for Watson from a few teams. At least that's what Ian Rappaport says. Still, I think I would just kind of, at this point, it's just cheaper to try to trade up and get a quarterback. So Panthers do that. I agree with this. Then he's got the Falcons going with Trey Lance. Another one I totally agree with. I think you're in a great position to bring in a quarterback you can develop over the next year or two. And yeah, I mean, if they want to move on from Matt Ryan, that's great. I mean, you kind of just set yourself up for success in the future, hopefully having this guy be mentored by Matt Ryan. Trey Lance, man, he's got all the tools. He's got huge upside. He's got a cannon for an arm and that nice athletic ability. So I'm kind of cool. I'm cool with this. I'm down with this. And this is where things get interesting for Mel. He is going with the Bengals taking Kyle Pitts over Penei Sewell. I'm not so keen on this. I love Kyle Pitts. He even mentions Jamar Chase still being on the board. He might go with Chase instead of Pitts or Sewell. I think you have to go with the offensive line, man. I think you have to go for the offensive line. I'm all for bringing in more playmakers. You can never have enough playmakers, but that line was bad, and Sewell is probably one of the safest prospects in this class. So, yeah, I mean, I could appreciate it, Mel, but I do not concur. So let's keep this sucker moving. We're going to the Philadelphia Eagles. They go Jamar Chase. I'm kind of in this boat where if one of the top four, well, actually, if one of the three, if it's Wilson, Fields, or Lance, fall to the Eagles here, I might be willing to take one of those guys. Wilson, No, I guess it's just Wilson Fields. There's no way Trevor Lawrence makes it here. But even like with Lance, it's like, why am I going to grab a guy that probably won't be ready to play for a couple of seasons? I'd rather bring in competition immediately for Hurts. Yeah, but I understand. I understand the Jamar Chase pick. For me, it's like if they don't go quarterback, this has to be wide receiver. You could consider corner here, but in that case, I would just trade down. And then the Detroit Lions, Devontae Smith. I like it. I like them grabbing more playmakers. They don't necessarily have to trade up for quarterback if they don't want a quarterback. If they want to give Goff a 1-year trial and really see if he is their quarterback of the future. But yeah, I like the idea of grabbing weapons here. He is only 170. Is it concerning going to the NFL? A little bit, but I kind of think that he will translate. I'm willing to bet on him. Yeah, just translating in the NFL. I mean, the guy's a very physical pass catcher, as very physical at the catch point. Very good at getting off the line of scrimmage, very crafty. But yeah, if I'm Lions, I might want to trade down though. I think trading down might be my top option here. Just trying to gather more picks, man. I just want to roll in the draft capital. So this is the Dolphins pick. They pass on Sewell to take Waddle. For me, it's like if I'm the Dolphins, like it's one thing to be like, okay, take Jamar Chase. But for me, honestly, Chase is like clear cut one in terms of the receivers, and then you have like Waddle and Smith. But like, yeah, man, Sewell's still on the board. You trade down. I feel like in a draft that's so deep at receiver, and I really believe that there is a significant there's a significant difference between like a prospect of Sewell's caliber than there is to the next guys on the board being like Slater and Darisaw. So I think I would have still gone Sewell here instead of taking Waddle. But Waddle's a weapon, dude. Waddle's a banger, man. I really do believe that that Smith and Waddle, one or the other, or maybe even both, may slip out of the top 10. Probably still go like in that 15 range, but that's just how receivers happen. That's just what happened last year in 2020 when we saw Judy and Lamb fall. But yeah, I don't know if I'm about that so much. So we got the Vikings jumping 5 spots for an elite talent. Yeah, I assume it was Sewell. So Denver trained down. I mean, I guess they're not in the Mac Jones sweepstakes. I would love if they could get a quarterback. But I think unless they're trading up, they really can't secure one. So the Vikings, they traded for Sewell. Phenomenal. I love that idea. They could have just sat back, took Slater or Darisaw, whoever they liked better. But being able to get Sewell, man, that's awesome. You immediately plug in Riley Reif's position there. So, yeah, I like it. Cowboys, they're going Patrick Surtain. And this one I kind of want to talk about because Surtain just had his pro day today, actually. Well, yesterday, but today as in recording this. And, speed ain't a concern apparently with him. So for me, because in high school he ran a 4.8 his senior year. So, but even watching back his stuff, I was like, he's still got like 4.5 speed. I'm fine with that, but just to be safe, I just want to. You want to see that at the combine, because typically I'm always production over workouts. Give me what they did in college throughout their career over how they worked out. I was kind of that way with Cameron Dantzler. Didn't think he should have fell nearly as far as he did. And I've been that way with Surtain, but I was still weighing with Farley because he does have these elite traits. And yeah, Surtain's workout, I'm not gonna lie to you, I think that he jumps Farley on my board. I'm pretty confident. Like, he quelled not only a lot of concerns, but it looked great. He was easily in like the 90th percentile for a lot of his workouts and his measurements. So yeah, I think Surtain is the top corner now in this class over Farley, who unfortunately had to have back surgery. So Yeah, things just not going his way, unfortunately. But yeah, Cowboys, they need a corner. Totally makes sense. I don't really like that they. I feel like they paid Jordan Lewis a ton, but I don't know if they have any easy outs on that contract. It's a 3-year deal, but it was like $16 million. I don't know if he's necessarily that good, but Kwity Paye going to the Giants. I assume with all their moves in free agency in terms of grabbing playmakers, Kenny Golladay, John Ross. You could even consider Kyle Rudolph, who's a fine tight end too, that they might not go playmaker here. I don't think that takes them out of the discussion. But in this case, there's no Pitts, there's no Waddle or Smith. So, yeah, I think it kind of makes sense either to trade down here or maybe take Paye. I even, like, in my last mock, I was like, maybe they go J.C. Horn. He kind of fits the scheme, but they brought in Adoree Jackson, which I thought was a very good sign-in. So, yeah, I could definitely see him taking the top edge rusher. My top edge rusher is going to probably be Kwity Paye. So, Mel, I think we're on the same page, friend. And then the Niners, they go Caleb Farley. Caleb Farley, even though Surtain jumped Farley, I'm probably in my rankings. We'll see when those come out in a few weeks, but he's still a darn good prospect. There might be a little bit of the injury concern, but I'm not too worried about a lot of his injuries. They don't correlate with one another, so I'd like to believe that it won't be the case in the NFL. He does have these elite traits. He's got great speed. Dude's just a phenomenal, good length. Primarily coming from a zone-heavy scheme, so it kind of fits with the Niners there. But he does have those long press man corner, or he does have those press man traits. So, yeah, I'm feeling this one. And then we'll have the Chargers. Rashawn Slater. This is kind of like you can copy and paste this. I feel like Slater's gonna be here for everybody's mock here for the Chargers. It's kind of an easy one to go on. So I'm fine with this. This is a good pick. Denver Broncos, they trade down. They end up getting Micah Parsons. Now there's this talk that Parsons may fall because of the character concerns. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. I'm not too worried about it. Just because of just the nature. If you really look into it, the nature of the case, why a lot of these charges were dropped, because no charges were brought against him. He was just named in this I guess in this case claim. But yeah, those were dropped. There were no witnesses or anything it's just, I don't know. You're really just taking his word against everyone else's in terms of not Micah Parsons, but who filed this lawsuit. And again, it was against the school and Coach Franklin. So, yeah. And I mean, people have come out and talked about how good of a guy Parsons actually is. So, I don't know. His workout might make people forget about that. For me, I don't think the character concerns are too shattering for me that he falls any further than this pick or even 15. So we'll see. I don't think he falls out of the top 20 though. But yeah, I like this idea with Von Miller potentially out after next year. I'm not saying he is a replacement for Von Miller. I mean, Von Miller's been a Pro Bowler for years now, but he is getting up there in dog years, and he is costing a lot of money. And Parsons, he does have the ability to rush the passer, and he is capable to play in coverage. So I think easily he's the best linebacker in this class. Mac Jones going to the Patriots. I honestly think the Patriots are going to make a move in this draft class at quarterback. Cam Newton just on a 1-year deal, man. It's just a 1-year deal. I'm firmly believe that they're going to be in this quarterback market, because they filled up a lot of holes in free agency. So their picks this year don't really mean too much. So if they want to trade them away to move up, I think they will do that. So I think they're one to watch. Mac Jones, he's kind of hard to project at this point where he may go, just because, yes, you can win in the NFL without arm strength. But, I mean, he's got borderline, if not, like, below average arm strength, even by NFL standards. So for me, that is kind of a concern. But I think this guy could come in and operate your offense efficiently. And it's not like he has a mobility upside to make up for that lack of arm strength. But yeah, that's probably why I won't I'll have him like maybe as a top 20, top 25 guy. It's just I don't think he's a top 10 guy in my opinion. So yeah, I know there's a lot of Mac Jones marks out there, which I don't blame you, man. He had a really impressive season. And then, ooh, a thumbnail right there, baby. J.C. Horn going to the Cardinals. I kind of said this was kind of the lazy pick a few weeks ago, probably like a month ago, but that if the Cardinals, you don't really know where to go, then J.C. Horn's kind of a good spot to just kind of a good guy to put there just because he fits the scheme, fits the system. May feel a little high for him. I probably have him in the 20-25 range. But yeah, I mean, with what they addressed in free agency, the only other place I could see them go is I would want a vertical passing threat. And I think they could do that in the second round. So I really think they do need to be able to. I think they haven't done anything to be able to stretch that offense downfield. So they need to do something that could stretch the field because Andy Isabella, they don't use him in that manner, unfortunately. And AJ Green ain't it. So Las Vegas Raiders go Jamin Davis. This is the first true surprise for me. I know people are really high on Davis. It's easy to see why, man. He's long and fast. Long and fast. That's just, ooh, that just gets people salivating, man. But when it comes to Davis, I just don't think it's all there just yet. Like he was okay last year in coverage, but unlike a guy like I would say like JOK or Nick Bolton, I think those guys actually played coverage well opposed to having stuff schemed around him. Not saying that's the same case for Davis, but I think definitely coverage is something he could get better at. I don't know if for me, he's like a second rounder, but he's got the tools to be a really good linebacker in the NFL. It's just, again, you kind of, the production's not necessarily there for me in terms of the coverage, but yeah. Raiders going Jamin Davis. I'm really surprised. Is he really the second linebacker on Mel's board? I want to know that. Kind of curious. Jalen Phillips going to the Dolphins. Yeah, I like it, dude. He's got a decent bit of versatility. I think he could play standing up or he could play with his hand in the dirt. You worry about the concussions, but overall, this is a good pick. If he's the second, he's going to be the second or even top edge on some people's boards. Probably not mine just because of the injury concerns. Granted, they were a few years ago. But concussions are kind of a serious thing, especially for those guys along the trenches. So, Dolphins, they get a pass rusher. They need it. They need someone that can pass rush on the outside. And then the Washington football team, Christian Darrisaw, still on the board. Totally forgot about that. Let's see, any other places? Darrisaw might be a pick there. Yeah, I guess realistically, he could fall down here. I mean, the Raiders might pick him up, but yeah. This is all right. I don't think they need to start him immediately, though. It's like, I don't think you're getting an immediate starter there unless you move in. Is it Cornelius Lucas, their current left tackle? Where are you gonna move him? Because I think he only played right tackle there in Chicago in 2019. And I couldn't tell you off the top of my head if he has any experience on the interior. So, I don't know, man. To be fair, like, this is great value for Darrisaw because he's a top 15 prospect in my eyes. So, if Washington, if they're just picking for value at this point, I'm kind of on board with that. I don't mind that. So, yeah, I don't think you can criticize that one too much. Elijah Vera Tucker, man. I don't know, man. Like, for me, I don't know. I just can't get on board with Vera Tucker as like a top 20 pick. Like, and it's not like I don't, like, I think I'm going to end up having him in that 20 to 25 range. So it's, I don't know. It's, I guess, just being a guard, because to me, I think he's a guard only in the NFL. It's nice to see him play left tackle, but he didn't look good when facing Kayvon Thibodeau, who was the only I would say NFL edge rusher he had to actually face at left tackle. Granted, he said he was hurt going into that game, so take that for what you will. Yeah, man, I still just see him as a guard, and I guess guard's just never a sexy pick. That's probably why. Really would say they need a right tackle. I'm not moving him on the right side though. Yeah, that one's interesting. I don't know, but with the Bears, I think I might take Rashad Bateman at this point. So yeah, I mean, hey, Vera Tucker's a very, very, very good, very skilled player though, so definitely worthy of this pick. Colts, they go Gregory Arusso. They grab a guy that it's a mean pass rusher from the interior. We haven't got a chance to see him last year, so like legit his a lot of it's gonna hinge on his pro day, how he looks, but yeah, man, what he needed to prove on going into his redshirt sophomore year was he just needed to develop. He talked about I've seen a couple of interviews when he's talked about how he's been training to improve his toolbox in terms as a pass rusher. So that's very encouraging, but still, for me, there's a bit of hesitancy when it comes to Russo. You know, you're gonna like kind of a there's some bust potential there, so it is a bit worrisome. And then Tennessee Titans, Kadarius Toney, man, I don't know, man. I'm in and out of Toney when it comes to him as a prospect, just because you need I feel like you need to specifically scheme around him, at least initially, because he doesn't have a great route tree, but like he's a good route runner, but he needs to polish up in that aspect. I would say he has good traits to be a great route runner. Dude's disgusting after the catch. I guess he comes in to be the slot, but I feel like why not go Rashad Bateman here? Because they just brought in Josh Reynolds, who can play in the slot. So can Bateman. Whoa. So yeah, I don't think I'd. Then again, I'm much higher on Bateman than I am Toney. So yeah. Let's see if Bateman even goes in Mel's draft. JOK going to the Jets. I like this. Robert Saleh, man. I think JOK would be phenomenal in his system. He loves these athletic linebackers. And JOK, man, dude is athletic. You can do a lot of creative, a lot of different things with him. So, I mean, I heard they were trying to, they were listening to offers for Mosley. That's going to be a hard contract to move, though. But I like this pick. I'm a bit higher. I probably will have him as a top 20 guy. I'm pretty high on that sucker. Tevin Jenkins, I like this pick for the Steelers. I think he is literally he has that mentality to be a Steeler. I love it. I think you instantly dump him at right or left tackle. Really doesn't matter, depending on where they want to play Zach Banner. So, yeah, good on him. I like that pick. Trevon Merrick, we're back with this. Back with Jacksonville getting safeties. Yeah, definitely. I like Jared Wilson. But I think you definitely upgrade in that secondary there. While Rashawn Jenkins, I don't think that was a great pickup. But Merrick, I like. He gives you a lot of flexibility. He can play either safety spots, and really, I think that this just really helps improve that secondary. Bringing Shaquille Griffin's huge. CJ Henderson, seeing what type of jump he makes in year 2. Sidney Jones, he really finished strong down the stretch for the Jaguars, and they retained him. So honestly, that secondary is looking much better, even if I'm not too high on the Jenkins pick. And then honestly, Merrick, I would take Merrick. I'm not gonna lie to you, I would start Merrick and Wilson, and just kind of like rotate Jenkins in there. Xavier Collins, Mel's been kind of mocking this last few times for the Browns because he sees Collins more as potentially an edge rusher. Maybe not so much like how the Vikings used Anthony Barr in Minnesota. I think that Stefanski, if in this case, would literally see Collins as a pass rusher. So I like this pick. If that's the case, they could rotate him in. They did bring in McKinley. So yeah. Wait, what is he saying here? He also considered Ronnie Perkins and Joseph Osai here. Where's my boy Azeez, dude? I love Azeez Ojulari, dude. He is he's probably one of my favorite guys in this draft. He's my guy, definitely. Terence Marshall Jr. to Baltimore. Again, if you follow me, you know this is nothing new. I don't think the receiver is the problem in Baltimore. I think a lot of that deals with Greg Roman, how he coaches this offense. It's very simplistic in terms of the route concepts, what he asks the receivers to do. So I think if they could expand the playbook a bit more in terms of what they do passing, I think that really helps with Lamar Jackson's development. You know, or maybe this is it. Maybe this is just how they see him. This is the offense that Lamar operates best out of. We're not going to deviate from that. But either way, I don't think adding more talent to the receiver position is going to help. At least this early. I think with this pick, I would have taken Azeez Ojulari just because that's an immediate replacement for what you lost in Yannick Ngakoue. So, yeah, I would have gone with that. And then the Saints go Tutu Atwell. Holy freaking moly, dude. This is too high for Tutu. I talked about how Kadarius Toney, you know, he was kind of used in a gadget-like fashion there at Florida. Yo, Tutu Atwell is the epitome of a gadget player. Unfortunately, like, that's just the case, man. Tutu Atwell is a gadget player. I mean, he's going to be, 170 at best? He only could run a handful of routes. They ran a very simplistic route tree there at Louisville. It was big RPO scheme over there. So, yeah, I don't see how you go that high on a gadget player like this. Like Tutu, I think highest I'd be willing to draft him as the third round. So, yeah, this is extreme reach for me, especially over guys like Elijah Moore, Rashad Bateman, Rondale Moore. So it's like, yeah, I wouldn't do that. This would be a bad pick. Greg Newsome going to the Packers. I like this. This is actually a good landing spot and just a good place in general for Greg Newsome to go, because I do have questions about Newsome in terms of he never really had to play anybody. Like, if you follow me on Twitter, man, you saw me tweet out about that whole, he allowed 0 yards against Ohio State. No one talks about he was out early in that Ohio State game. He didn't really have a lot of snaps versus Wilson or Olave. So it'd be nice to see him again. It would have been nice, but I mean, based on, again, the rest of the competition he did face, keep in mind he did play in Power 5 school. I don't think he necessarily faced anybody that would probably be a day 1 or day 2 caliber, though. But he was shut down. I think at best he'll be good in an off coverage scheme, whether that's man, zone, whatever they want to run in Green Bay there. So I actually really like the fit a lot. And then we're going to go Buffalo Bills, Najee Harris. You already know I hate this. If you think any Bills fan out there, any person out there, if you think, the Bills are just a running back away from competing, I think you're a fool. That's just my opinion. It's subjective. It's not objective. It's pretty darn close, though. Like, no. I think they're fine with the rotation of Zach Moss, of Devin Singletary. And what are you missing from there is a home run threat. Najee Harris ain't the home run threat. If anything, this pick probably Travis Etienne. If they really are looking for a home run threat or running back, it'd be Etienne. With Najee Harris, you're getting somewhat. Najee Harris is very similar in terms of his running style to Zach Moss. Yeah, this team's not a running back away, man. I think based on what they've done in free agency, retaining a lot of their guys. I think they should go heavy on defense in this draft class. I really, really do think they should do that. Whether it's corner here, whether it's if they want linebacker, edge, like literally anywhere on the defense. Running back, I think is foolish. Literally, it's like, oh, we lost to the Chiefs. We better match what they did. What did they do? They drafted a running back in the first round last year. Is that why they're good? Sure. Nah, dude, it's just foolish. I think this would be a waste of a pick. It's just bad value. Kansas City Chiefs, Liam Eichenberg. Wow, man. Going over guys like Samuel Cosmi, I thought would be a really good fit here. Eichenberg's good, but I think he's more second round. But yeah, I think grabbing a tackle here would be kind of clutch. Obviously, because they let their starters go. They brought back Mike Remmers, who I think's probably better as a depth piece, more so than a starter nowadays. But yeah, I wouldn't mind going edge here either, because I think their secondary is very nice. They just have a problem getting pressure to the quarterback. And if someone says Frank Clark gets pressure, you only watch the playoffs. All right, Christian Barmore, he makes it down here. I think he's probably a top 20, top 15 player in this class. He'd be a fine replacement for Sue. He's very underrated. The guy just had one of the highest pass pressure rates, pass rush win rates over the last 2 seasons, which includes the likes of guys like Derek Brown, Javon Kinlaw, Jordan Elliott, who I was exceptionally high on last year. So yeah, I think this be a real steal here. But overall, I thought this was a fine mock draft. You did well, Mel. You did well. I don't disagree too much with you. If anything, this is probably the only abomination of a pick here. But that's it for the video. Go ahead, do the YouTube thing. And until next time, you be easy, my friends. Later.